black music, they're all represented. So you get these and guttural noises which are very much built into the rhythms and to the atmosphere of the whole and to the tension and excitement of it. Whereas, say, in opera, you have this very abstracted form of singing through a brilliant technique often, but for me as a listener, it doesn't have the emotional impact that I get when I listen to great soul or blues music. And I think in rock as a whole, there have been many great songs which have had really appalling lyrics, but there have been no great songs which have had appalling music. So I think there is, one, that priority at work, but if you're going to write lyrics, you might as well make them as potent as you can and try and communicate something.
The first ideas for lyrics were jotted down in this book. Jung in Africa drew on the writings of the psychologist Carl Jung.
A friend mentioned to me about Carl Jung's obsession with Africa, and again, there was another book I got hold of, but there is this one scene in which he joins a group of drummers and dancers, and for the first time really loses himself totally and is taken over by what is happening, and has this sort of primordial fear which overwhelms him, and he's so terrified by the thing that he stops the dance and orders the drummers away, and has to beg and pay for them to move apart, and that seemed a very powerful example of Jung obviously being a pivotal figure of the mind, actually confronting something in himself which he was afraid of. Some of the records that I enjoy most have had their own oral world, their own particular sound to them, and I try to create that in what I do. We will try treating sounds to put them in perspective in this picture that we're building up. So, for instance, if you have, say, a fat keyboard sound that you think is occupying too much space and has too much weight and depth to it, I may stick it through something to make it thin and wavy, so that I think personality is the word I would use. Its personality changes.
Electronic instruments, in the way that we've approached them on this album, become totally integrated into the recording process. The way the drums would be processed, or saxophone parts, anything else will at times go through the electronics and then be blended in with newer sonic textures, sound qualities, just expanses of sound.
The mixing process for me is often a case of eliminating material. And say in Rhythm of the Heat, which used to be called Jung in Africa, the guitar's been dropped altogether because I thought it was a much too familiar reference point. It worries me sometimes that I'm taking so long over these things, and then at the end I think it doesn't really matter a damn if the end product works.
We've reels and reels, mountains of reels of tryouts and overdubs and different synth lines and different musicians coming in trying things. And actually when you get down to the final mix, very often very little of that is used. But that's the sort of compositional process, really. Some people would go through it before they go to the studio. Most of Peter's work in that direction happens in the studio.
I have here, I think, a very atmospheric sound, and what I'm doing is emptying everything else out of the track at the end of San Jacinto, except for this, because I think it sort of crystallizes a mood better than anything else I've got so far. And this is from one of the scrapyard sounds with the blown drain pipe. But if I put it into a small repetitive sequence, I think it sets up sort of pathos very well. And so in San Jacinto, there's the attempt for this one man to find this and to hold on to his line of instinct and not be seduced into this world which increasingly is moving around him.
I hold the line of strength that pulls me through the field. San Jacinto, I hold the line. San Jacinto, poison mind, darkness take my sight. I hold the line, and the tears roll down my swollen cheek. I think I'm losing it, getting weaker.
I feel often in conversation inarticulate, and if I have time, which I do on lyrics, to go through, hone it down word by word, measure by measure, then I feel I can get exactly what I want.
Time I like is the rush hour, 'cause I like the rush, the pushing of the people. I like it all so much. Such a massive motion, do not know where it goes. I move with the movement and I have the touch. I'm waiting for ignition, I'm looking for a spark, any chance collision, and I light up in the dark. There you stand before me, all that firm and all that hair. What do I dare? I have the touch. I'm only wanting contact. I'm only wanting contact. I'm shake those hands, shake those hands.
Last July, Gabriel played a considerable part in inspiring and organising the World of Music, Arts and Dance Festival, which brought together musicians and dancers from all over the world.
All those introductions.
How you doing?
So before a question, so before a doubt, my hand goes out and
Thanks, man.
I have the touch. I'm only wanting contact. I'm
It was at the festival that he chose to perform his new songs live on stage for the first time.
only wanting contact with you. Shake those hands, shake those hands. Do you think I understand? Shake those hands, shake those hands, shake hands. My cheek, stroke my hair, scratch my nose, on my knees. Try drink, food, cigarette, tension will not ease. I tap my fingers, fold my arms, breathing deep, cross my legs, shrug my shoulders, stretch my back. Nothing seems to please. I want contact. I need contact.
For Gabriel, live performance is a way of taking his songs a stage further and giving them a new character independent of the way they sound on the record.
I think always in live performance you have the sense of a test, because your work is being required to hold the attention of whoever is out there, and it's a very immediate and real judgment, and you learn also how to project.
completed record was finally released early last month. It rose rapidly to number 6 in the charts and then, just as rapidly, slid down again. The critical reaction was mixed.
Part of it, I know, is straight reaction to the music, and I'm not dodging that, but I think there is a lot to do with fashion. One of the real satisfactions for me with this record is that I'm getting played on black stations in America, and even though in the white press I got some fair slaggings this time, I had a very good review in sort of black music magazine, and even though I don't think my music has much in common with main black music, it's still great for me to feel that the rhythm content is strong enough to get through to black people. There are definitely elements of this album which are a progression for me. I want to continue exploring this hybrid between electronic or high-tech and non-European influence. And I think a lot more rock musicians are now working in this area, and there will be a style of music to emerge in the 80s, which I think will be very important and influential.